I don't want to scream and yell today. I want to have like a real conversation with Giants fans. We used to be in lockstep as a community with this team, like 1-1, holding hands every step of the way. This team meant something to this community. And when the Dodgers came to town, there was a uniting, no matter where they were in the standings, a uniting of people like, we're going to go out there and we're going to root on our team. And there were guys that you could pull for. And I just feel like the business model, the baseball model, the connection, the human element, the emotional connection, everything is broken right now. It's just broken. And when I look at what the Dodgers have done, do I want the Giants to be exactly like the Dodgers? No, I don't. No, are there elements that they do well? Of course. But like, I know you're not going to be able to replicate some of the financial things that they can replicate. But show me you got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Joe, they've lost all 5 games this year, okay? They've lost 6 in a row overall. We're 45 games into the year, and they're 10 games out of first place, and it feels like they're not even on the same planet as this team. This is what we look like. We look like Southern Baptist State against Alabama.
My dad always would call them Turkey Tech University whenever the teams would play each other. That's a great, Southern Baptist State's a good one. Our Lady of the Poor.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's what they look like. No, it's true. I kind of liken it to the Dodgers. If we're just going to go football, because the NFL schedule releases today too, and don't worry, we'll be monitoring everything. Niners already got a win this morning. If you woke up, folks, they're not traveling to Europe next year. So no international games for the San Francisco 49ers.
We're going to monitor the NFL stuff all day. Trust me. We're not just going to sit here and go crazy about the Giants. But like, the reality is I do want to hear from Giants fans.
Yes.
Because Spadoni, like, you've been here, you've seen it. Like, as the A's fervor has completely dropped, and I watched Moneyball yesterday, and I want to get into that because I think there's some correlation to what's going on now and how the Giants tried to replicate something, and there's just a lot that can get into it. But like, we are going to monitor the NFL. But what the hell happened to my Giants?
Well,
what happened to them?
I look at the Giants, and they're never going to be the Dodgers. And I look at the Dodgers, and listen, they got Betts, they got Freeman, they got Ohtani, but it's the other things that they do just so well. It's the constant drafting. Like this kid yesterday, Stone.
Fifth round pick in 2020. And I'm listening to Flem, and I love Kipe and Krug. I love them. But they're like, well, the COVID year really ruined the development. This guy was drafted in the middle of COVID.
He was. Dave Fleming, by the way, 8:30 here on 95.7 The Game. On Giants Insider.
Like, how are the Giants the only ones struggling with development because of COVID? I don't know. Keep going.
No. But to your point, like, it's one thing to just land on the stars. If you can do that, that's great. Then you're the Padres and stuff like that. With years ago, like, remember when they're getting the Upton brothers?
Yeah.
They were bringing everyone, Craig Kimbrell, James Shields, all that sort of stuff. That's fine. But it's the Gavin Luxes. It's the Stones. It's
James
the Outmans. It's the... Whether it was Seager, we had Jerry Harrison Jr. on yesterday. Seager, who won a World Series last year with the Rangers, who won a World Series a couple years ago. Bellinger, who's all of a sudden looking good now with the Cubs. They're developing guys that are also going elsewhere and succeeding. That's what I want from the Giants right now. And I know this team that I'm about to mention has kind of had a couple down years, but for the most part, for my whole life, they've been relevant.
Who's that?
It's the St. Louis Cardinals.
One of the most well-run teams in sports.
And I get it. Right now, they're kind of in a lull period, which, you know what? They've had a 20-year run, so I think they're allowed to have a little down period.
They have one of the best winning records in sports.
But that's a team I look at, and like, why can't the Giants be a team like that? That go out and get the big names. Like, they're in St. Louis, Missouri, for God's sakes. And God love you if you're listening from St. Louis, can opener Cal, our guy. Great. It's not what I would call a free agent destination.
No.
But they would get free agents constantly. They would make acquisitions and trades. I know Goldschmidt has not had a good year, but he's been pretty good for them for the most part. Nolan Arenado might be a Hall of Fame kind of a guy. He's been pretty good for them. So I look at a team like that and say, why can't the Giants be like them? And then it just goes back to Farhan Zaidi. All arrows point right now, and I don't want the conversation again, Joe, to just boil down to Farhan. No, you know what? This is a long-ass season. It's May 15th, and we can't be doing that all the time. But it's just, when I watch this, the free agents are one thing. It's the development that really stands out to me.
Yes. It's the infrastructure.
Walker Buehler, again, like another guy.
Joe, I'm watching Moneyball, and we're going to go out to the lines, 888-957-9570. I see you, Nick, in San Jose. We're going to get to you in 1 second. Like, I watched Moneyball yesterday. I had the little guy. My wife wasn't feeling good. The allergies are just crushing the family the last couple of days.
I slept in my eye contacts last night, and it was my eyes.
So
are
we're both down bad today.
It's not feeling great.
Well, I watched Moneyball.
This is our flu game.
And look, I know that the book is a little different from the movie, and there's a lot of liberties that have been taken. But like, they're talking about Scott Hatterberg and the platooning and, trying to find value in the margins. What they omit to explain to you in Moneyball is that the scouts also found Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. That the scouts also found Tejada and Chavez. Okay? Yeah, they lost Giambi. They found Giambi. Okay? Like we could talk about finding value in the margins.
SP Santangelo.
The core of that team, again, Miguel Tejada, who won an MVP with Baltimore. Yeah. Okay? Eric Chavez, who was the last big deal the A's have given out.
Exactly, yes.
In years, okay? The big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. Go back and look at their early track record.
Dominant.
They were called the big three for a reason. And there were other guys there. The A's were finding talent all over. Mark Ellis was on that team. There's a lot of guys, right? And yeah, you could patchwork your David Justice here and there. The problem with the Giants is that they got no of the core of what made that A's team so good. So you want to moneyball every position. It's like, no, you're missing the big point. The big point wasn't the moneyballing. The big point was you found Tejada, you found Giambi, you found the big three. Where's our big three? So, all that Moneyball crap that everyone wants to shove in my face about finding guys with OPS and on-base percentage, that's all fine and dandy. Where's the All-Stars?
Yeah.
Where are the All-Stars? Right now, I'm looking at this Giants team. Who potentially could be an All-Star?
Lamont Wade? Maybe?
Okay. But Lamont Wade's a great example.
But do we all expect this to keep up? And that's the thing.
Lamont Wade has got, depreciation in the second half written all over him. Let's go out to Nick.
Outside of pitching, right? Because I think Logan Webb's like an all-star caliber.
Okay, yeah. But you got to get the guy some run support.
Correct.
He's going to be 5-21. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go out to Nick in San Jose. It's just, what has happened to the Giants? Where are we at here? Nick, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys, I want to say I feel, especially you, Shasky, I can hear in your voice the pain, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And you guys know how much I love the Bay Area and the Warriors, and please don't get mad at me here. I got to explain myself. I'm actually a Dodger fan, and let me tell you why, and then I'll tell you what my observation with the Giants. So I'm 49 years old. I'm coming to age 3-4 years old. It's the iconic Yankees versus the Dodgers. I'm Italian. We had Lasorda and all that stuff. My favorite player was surprisingly Steve Sachs. And at the time, the Giants were so bad. This was after McCovey and you had Johnny LeMaster, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward. I'm in 7th and 8th grade. You bring up people like Will Clark. He hit the home run against Nolan Ryan. You got Robbie Thompson. You guys are amazing, dude. And I love these guys, even though I'm a Dodger fan. These guys are exciting. Last night, I'm watching with my buddy, and we're laughing. We're laughing that you're beautiful park, and it's beautiful, like Baltimore is. The Dodgers are running you guys out of town. Dodger. And I got to tell you, man, I felt sorry for you guys. You had saves.
I know.
You had saves. You had Bochy. He won a title with the Rangers. Let me say this.
In year one, Nick. In year one, Nick.
You guys got, and let me tell you right now, there's no reason you can't get people. The Bay Area is beautiful. These guys live in Lafayette anyways.
Exactly.
And you got, you need to get Buster Posey to manage this team next year or take a more visible role, dude. I mean, this team is so bad. And even if you get everyone healthy, Robbie Ray's in the world, you're a 77-win team. You're boring. It's horrible. It is horrible.
It's so bad. Nick, I love you, pal. I'm hugging you through the phone, even though he's a Dodger fan.
I love Nick.
But this is where we're at. And I'll be 100% candid here. I'm a lover of sports. So when things get one-sided, right? Red Sox, Yankees, one-sided for so long, the rivalry loses its luster.
Joe, I'm a Raider fan. There's no rivalry with the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying.
It's Kansas City Chiefs and no rivalry in their own division.
Right.
They've dominated it for the last decade.
Seahawks, right? When the Seahawks were running it up on the Niners, what were they, 17-1 or whatever the record was? It was absolutely crazy. It was this is not a rivalry. This is one-sided. You got to get a couple victories on your side. Otherwise, it's not a rivalry. Part of what made Detroit the Pistons versus the Bulls is like, hey, Pistons got the better of Michael early on, then he got the better of them later. You know, like that's what makes a rivalry. Yeah. And right now, I'm looking at one team that's an absolute juggernaut, and I'm looking at the other team, and I just don't know what are they trying to accomplish? And now, look, we watched Matos yesterday in center field, and he's struggling. He's taking poor routes, not communicating. You're the center fielder. You got to take, command on one of those plays early in the game on the Freddie Freeman fly ball. But like, this is why they signed Jung-Hoo Lee.
Yeah,
was because they kind of knew that Matos probably isn't a center fielder, and now that guy's on the shelf for the year. You know, and then Jorge Soler, to your point earlier, you want to talk about being snake bitten. I mean, I've been throwing BP to kids for like 20 years straight. Have you ever
seen something like that?
I have never in my life seen a guy get into the cage, hit one up off the pole of the top of the cage, come back and smack him in the face. You know what I said to myself? You got to wear a helmet now every time. Like all these guys should be wearing helmets.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead. He's lucky he didn't fracture his eye.
I know.
Or whatever it is, the socket.
The orbital socket.
We're down so bad. The guy that I didn't even think should be in the rotation is now going to be out with like a forearm strain, Keaton Wynn, who was pitching pretty well, until recently. And now I'm like, oh my God, we're out 3/5 of the rotation right now. Like, Sam, this is the team you and I grew up loving.
Garlic fries and baseball,
it's
guys.
It's heartbreaking to watch. It really is. And by the way, with Keaton Wynn, he said it was just a cramp. So cross fingers that's all it is. But like, it's just one of those things. Like, it's just like, can we just go just 1 hour without someone getting hurt? But that's where it's at. It's just
Bailey's back on the IL with the concussion thing. I kind of told you guys.
No, that's concerning.
And then the Jung-Hoo Lee, I hate to say, I kind of told you guys I had heard it was a lot worse than initially reported.
When they say structural damage, it's never
horrible.
Yes.
I mean, when I hear structural damage, I think of a quarterback separating their shoulder and having like ligament damage,
like reconstructive surgery.
Yes, this is huge. And then you're out Blake Snell, even though he's on a rehab assignment. Keaton Wynn's hurt right now. Everything is going wrong for the Giants,
and everything's going right for the Dodgers. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They have a +84 run differential. I know it's not the end-all, be-all. Juxtapose that with what the Giants are doing, who have a -49, which is third worst in the National League. You're just in front of the Colorado Rockies, who again have won 6 straight now in your own division, and the Miami Marlins, who are -89, and you're just ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, who are -45. Again, all those teams last in their division. So you are just above the worst teams in the National League, and that's where the Giants are right now. And the Dodgers, listen, they're one of the best. We knew they were going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the National League. You got the Braves, you got the Phillies, but man, it's sobering to watch if you're a Giants fan. But I don't think they expected anything, different heading into the season. I know you expected to be at least more competitive. But when you play the Dodgers, and I love FP, who joined you guys earlier in the week. FP St. Angelo doing a hell of a job. Our Giants insider, one of our hosts here at 95.7 The Game, former major leaguer, saying he was optimistic about this series. And that's just kind of all you have to, optimism.
Faith.
Things like that. That's fine if it was 2014, 15, 16. It's a decade later now. I'm done with the optimism.
Well, and
you've been a joke outside of one fluke year.
And we're going to get into it more. I want to hear from Giants fans. You just, what's going on? Honest to God, what is going on with this team? This is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable.